Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm just going to make an easy recipe for some Danish style butter cookies, and I'm going to do 3 different ones basically with the same dough, and these are only going to be small batches, but you can double or triple the recipe to make as many as you want, and you can make whatever shapes you want basically. So I'm going to do 2 round ones. One will just be the plain butter cookie, one will have some chopped glacé cherries in it, and then the third type will be rectangular or square ones, which will be dipped, the top will be covered with some demerara sugar. Very simple, and I'll go on to the ingredients. And for this I have 227 grams, which is 1 cup of softened unsalted butter, 250 grams, 1 2/3 cups based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup of plain flour, 100 grams, half a cup of caster sugar, 1 medium egg, which would be large in the USA, 2.5 milliliters, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. And then for one variation I have 30 grams, about 2 tablespoons of chopped glacé cherries, and I have washed the syrup off my glacé cherries, patted them dry, and then chopped them into little pieces. And I also have 50 grams, which is about 1/4 cup of demerara sugar, and I may not need all of that, so they go to one side because we don't need those for quite some time. And the first thing we need to do is to mix the butter and the sugar, cream that together as we start to make our biscuit or cookie dough. I'll put the sugar in and the butter, and I'm going to mix this with my hand mixer, but you can cream these by hand. It's not a difficult task. It's just that it's just that little bit quicker doing it with the mixer. And I want to mix those together until they're light and fluffy basically. And that's good like that. So then I'm going to put my vanilla extract in, and my salt, and my medium egg. And I'm going to mix those until it's all combined. And that's good like that. So then the last thing to go in is the flour. So I'll just scrape the bowl and turn that over a little bit, and then I'll put my flour in, and I'm going to mix that through. I don't want to over mix it, so I'm just going to mix it until it's all combined. So that's good like that, and I need to divide that into 3 equal pieces basically, which will be about 210 grams each. And I have 211 grams there, that's good. I'm going to put that onto some parchment. And I'm going to form that into a log basically. And that's quite easily formed into a log, and I'm going to put it into the fridge and I'm going to chill it for at least 2 hours. Now as it chills, I can actually adjust the shape to make sure that it's slightly more round, because as it stands in the fridge it may flatten on one side, but as it chills you can reshape it slightly and it will hold its shape. So that one goes into the fridge, and I'll do the same with a second one, but with the second one I'm going to try to shape it into a square as much as I can. So there's my second piece, and I'm going to fold that over and just tap to straighten it a little bit, and I'm going to hold this one up as well. Like that, and then I'll fold that down, and I'm going to just try to form it roughly into a square, or a rectangle will be fine, as long as it's a uniform thickness basically, or width and height. So I don't think that's too bad, but I will reshape it again once it's chilled. So I'll put that into the fridge, and then the remaining dough will have the cherries mixed into them. And with the cherries mixed in, we need to put that onto some parchment and form that into a log as well. And I've just actually put a little bit of flour on my hand to help shape that. I'm going to fold that round and try to shape it into a round log, but as I say again, as it chills I can improve that. And again, I'm going to chill that for at least 2 hours. And then once I've chilled that and I've reshaped it a little bit, I will come back and I will have my oven preheating at 160 degrees Celsius, 140 Celsius with a fan, 320 Fahrenheit, and I'll be ready to cut these cookies or biscuits and bake them. So I'll come back when the dough has chilled and I'm ready to cut them. So my dough is well chilled now, my cookie or biscuit dough, and I did slightly reshape it, but the shape doesn't matter that much. And I'm going to cut this into, I'm just going to straighten the edges a little bit, then I'm going to cut it into about 12 pieces, which I think will be about 1/3 of an inch each, maybe slightly more. And I've left the other pieces in the fridge until I need them to cut, because it will go soft very quickly. And then I'm going to place those on my baking tray, which I've covered with silicone, but you can use parchment paper, that would be fine. And with the final piece, which is my one which is either square or rectangular, I'm just going to cut those, and I'm going to take my Demerara sugar and I'm going to sprinkle that on the top of the rectangular ones. And then I'm going to put those into the oven, and I'm going to bake them between 15 and 18 minutes. So I want them to bake through, but without colouring very much on the top. And once I think they're baked, I'm going to take them out of the oven and leave them on the trays to cool down, because they should be very tender. And maybe after 10 minutes or so, I'll gently transfer them to a wire rack. And then once they're completely cooled, I'll come back and we'll have a taste of them. Well, I baked my Danish style butter biscuits or cookies for 15 minutes, and I took a look at them and I decided they needed at least another 5 minutes, because I carefully lifted one up and saw that the underside was not cooked through. So I left them for 20 minutes in all, and then I took them out of the oven. I left them for a few minutes on the trays and then transferred them to a wire rack. So I'll show you what they look like. This is just some of them, the others are on a separate rack, but they've baked up quite nicely. They did spread a little. It might be worth chilling them in the fridge as you preheat the oven, just to help them hold their shape a little bit, but they're not too bad, I have to say. So I'll have a taste of this one with the cherries in. Lovely and tender and buttery, and of course I've got that little bit of glacé cherry flavour as well. Very easy to eat. I think that they're ideal at sort of Christmas time as well. You could make a batch as small or as large as you wanted, and you could even bag them up in little fancy bags with a ribbon on and give some away as gifts. So it's an easy recipe. I hope you give it a try. That's going to be it for today. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.